Welcome to the Make the World a Better Place podcast. I'm your host, Shanice Harris, and this season we'll meet leaders with connections to Girl Scouts serving in our community and beyond. Together, we'll hear stories from Girl Scout alum and their adult supporters who are making the world a better place using their courage, confidence, and character. This is the Make the World a Better Place podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Make the World a Better Place podcast. It's your host, Shanice Harris, Public Relations Manager, and I'm here with a very special alum that is a Girl Guide alum, Georgia Lyons. She's a staff member here on team with us in Girl Scout, and she's got an interesting story on how she made her way across the pond to Chesapeake, Virginia. So let's welcome Georgia Lyons. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. So I'd like to jump on in. And can you tell me a bit about what that was like getting to this area and how you ended up in Chesapeake?
So I've been in Chesapeake. Well, I live in Hampton, so I'm up on the peninsula. But I've been in this area for about 6 months now. My husband is in the Air Force. So he was previously stationed in England. We met, got married, had a baby. He got orders over here. So I followed him across the pond.
Beautiful. I love to hear that you ended up here and reconnected with Girl Scouts. And in England and other parts of the world, it's known as Girl Guiding. So can you tell me a bit about your journey with Girl Guiding? Is there a family history? Did you just take a leap? How'd you get involved?
So there's no family history. I think what it was my friends were brownies. They were talking about it at school, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool. Let's give it a go." I think I was about 8 when I joined. So I went along to some meetings and then just sort of never looked back. I've been involved ever since.
Well, Girl Scouting and Girl Guiding is well known to be a great place to make friends. Are you still in touch with any of those who you knew
Yes.
in your troop? Is it
Yes.
called a troop in Girl?
No, it's not actually. It's called a unit.
In your unit. Okay. Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, we touched a bit on this. What is Girl Guiding, and are there any differences between that and Girl Scouting?
It's very similar. So it's a girl-only organization. Girl Guiding was the first one of its kind. It started in 1910, so 2 years older than Girl Scouts. But it's very similar at the core of it. It's about leadership opportunities for the girls, giving them experiences that they wouldn't have necessarily otherwise, having fun with your friends, getting involved in the outdoors, camping, cooking, all that fun stuff. It's very, very similar in that respect.
You talked a little bit about outdoors. Were those some of your favorite things to do? What were you up to as a Girl Guide?
Yes. So my leader, when I was a ranger, so that's one of the older girls, she had a farm. She still has a farm. And she would bring us all there for the week in the summer. And we'd, do things like cook out on an open fire, put up tents, make like contraptions out of sticks and yarn to have like washing up stands and like just be in the outdoors that you wouldn't necessarily get otherwise. We had like people come and visit us, so we had like an animal guy come once with like hedgehogs and owls, and I think he had a snake at one point. We'd go on trips and do all fun stuff like that.
Frankly, that doesn't sound too much different than a Girl Scout experience here. I grew up in this council. All that sounds very familiar. That's a blast. So when we're talking about Girl Guiding and Girl Scouting, we really get to shake hands and learn more about each other during World Thinking Day. That's coming up this year on February 22nd. Can you tell me a little bit about World Thinking Day? Any suggestions how to participate?
So World Thinking Day is one of my favorite Girl Scout holidays. It's really a chance to look wider and think about the larger community we're a part of. Both Girl Guiding and Girl Scouting are part of the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. That is the big global organization that we belong to. There are over 10 million people involved in Girl Guiding and Girl Scouting through WAGs. So it's a really great chance to like think about what it might look in other countries. I think there's 153 member countries within WAGs. So what I like to do when I was a troop leader and a guide leader, we would look at what other countries have Girl Scouts and Girl Guiding. what do they do? What do their uniforms look like? What do their troop meetings look like? And learn a bit more about them. I've done pen pal exchanges with other countries. There's a whole community online of ways to get involved with that. Basically, if there's a Facebook group for it, you can, people can get involved that way, writing letters, that sort of thing. Yeah.
That sounds really exciting, especially the letter writing. I remember doing that when I was young as well, and it's so fun to connect with someone who's not quite so different from you, even if they're really far away. I love those ideas. Thank you for that. So, Girl Guiding's got such a long history, a couple years older than Girl Scouts even. So, how do you see these organizations transforming? What do you hope to see in the future for girls who are joining?
I would love to see girls getting the opportunity to engage in what's present. So things like, currently we have a whole host of STEM things that are so current and so useful for their futures, but then also tying that back into the traditions of Girl Scouting and Girl Guiding. I think there's a lot to be said about having the experiences of learning coding one week, but then looking at the traditions of a flag ceremony the next, and getting those experiences they wouldn't necessarily have otherwise.
That's so true. It's all about just having a well-rounded experience that checks all those boxes: fun, friendships, adventure. I love to hear how similar these organizations are, even across really great distances. That's really fun. I look forward to learning more about you as we work together. And we're really lucky to have your global perspective on the team. And as always, an alum who knows a lot about the program from behind the scenes. So, everyone, that was Georgia Lyons, staff member here at GSCCC. Georgia, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, we'll see you next time. For more episodes like these, visit our website at www.gsccc.org.